girl, welcome back to the show. I'm Lindsey Nickel, and today we're talking about something I know is happening to you more than you would like to admit. You're triggered. I feel like the word triggered is a trigger in itself, but neither here nor there. I want to talk about being triggered because we're about to approach on the season of triggers. Today we're talking triggers, all things triggers, and I hope this message really helps you to identify steps that you can take and how to move through a triggering time in your recovery. All right, friend, let's do this. Here we go. Hey girl, welcome to the Her Best Self podcast. I'm Lindsey Nickel, former competitive figure skater and perfectionist, turned God-led imperfect boy mom and digital CEO. If you find yourself constantly thinking about food and wondering if you'll wake up one day free from the obsessive thoughts and behaviors controlling your life, then I've created this podcast for you because I know exactly what it's like to be a downright hot mess trapped in a destructive cycle of disordered eating. I finally found freedom, and you can too, girlfriend. So if you're ready to heal your relationship with food and body and break the chains of control and show up in your best health, then grab your favorite Tarjay journal and let's get to it so you can start living your best life as your best self. Maybe it's a comment at dinner. Maybe it's scrolling through Insta and seeing someone's what I eat in a day post. Don't even get me started on that. Maybe it's the holidays that are coming up and you're already spiraling about how you're going to handle all the food, all the people, all the comments about bodies, or even what's on your plate. And here's what happens, sis. Your chest gets tight, your thoughts in your mind, they start racing. And before you even realize it, you're back in your head making those plans, whether that's plans to restrict tomorrow, plans to add an extra workout in this week, plans to control, whatever it is. Because right now, in this moment, you feel out of control. And I get it. I was there. It was me. Hello. That's why you're listening to this podcast, hopefully because you can relate on some level. Before I jump in to the whole trigger discussion that I want to have with you today, I just want to be mindful that I have some yard guys outside. And so hopefully it doesn't jack the audio up too much, but I swear every single time I try to make a point in this recording, I feel like they come in and it gets a little but it is what it is. We're going to do our best because that's what we do. I want you to know I see you, and I'm here to tell you exactly what you can do in the next few minutes will either keep you stuck in the same cycle of all the triggers, or it's going to move you one step closer to the freedom that I know you're craving. So in this episode, I'm going to give you a real-time game plan. Okay? I typically like to do this in coaching sessions with clients because honestly, that's the value of partnering one-on-one with me. But I'm going to give you a game plan because I don't want you heading into the holidays with a trigger, a constant trigger. Whether that is a person, a circumstance, an event that's going on. For me, it was Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving in general was a trigger. I want you to be able to move through quicker this year, or at least with a plan, so that you can work through a trigger when it happens. And yes, there are going to be triggers, but when your body is screaming at you and your mind is trying to take over, you are going to need to fall back on something. So here's a tool that I have found works for me and my clients. And here's the truth before I dive in. You don't have to stay this way. You do not have to constantly be reacting to triggers for the rest of your life, okay? The version of you that restricts all day, over-exercises, and never feels good enough, well, she's operating from wounds that just haven't healed yet. And that's okay. But sis, your future self, your very best self, now she's already free. And she already knows how to move through the hard things. She already knows how to work through a trigger without falling back into old patterns. And today I'm going to frame up this episode a little bit with acting as if you were already her. We are literally going to operate from that place of freedom, not from that place of fear. So I want you to take a deep breath with me. We're going to do this together. All right, now let's get to work. All right, let's set the scene. You're at a holiday dinner. Maybe it's Thanksgiving next month. Maybe it's a birthday party this weekend. And I just want you to set the tone. You've been anxious about it for days. You planned what you're going to eat there. You may be restricted a little extra because today is the day and just in case, you never know. So you worked out this morning. Even though your body was exhausted because you told yourself you had to earn whatever it was that you were going so that you could eat later, you sit down at the table and your cousin, your aunt, your sister, your brother, your mom, they go, "Oh my gosh, you look so healthy. Are you eating more? Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you." Or maybe it's, "You've lost so much weight. Oh my gosh, you're shriveling away." Or, "Wow, you look great." And just like that, you're triggered. Like whatever they say, it can be a trigger. Am I right? Your throat tightens, your stomach is dropping. Suddenly, you can't even think about food in front of you or what you're going to eat on your plate. All you can think about is how you need to control this, how you need to get out of this, how you need to fix this, how you need to go for a run or skip that meal or prove something to someone. Maybe even if it's just for yourself. Can you feel this? Like, have you been in this situation? I've been in so many of these situations, girl. And one of my clients, we were talking about this recently. We're just going to call her Allison. Allison and I were here this last week, and she texted me in a full-blown panic from a family gathering. And we walked through exactly what I'm going to walk with you through today. Here's what we're going to do. Not what we're going to think about doing. Not what sounds nice in theory, but what we're actually going to implement and do when this kind of thing happens. Because it's not when, it's not if, it's when, right? You're about to be around family, maybe not with the holidays coming up, but I'm assuming that you are. And I don't want you to get caught off guard. And even with a plan, sometimes it can be hard in those situations because it can just set your mind off. But I'm going to walk you through this step-by-step process today in hopes that it is going to armor you up. So step number 1, notice your body. The first thing I want you to do is to notice your body. I want you to stop trying to logic your way out of this in your head and drop down into your body. I want you to notice, like, is my chest tight? Are my shoulders up to my ears? Is my jaw clenched? Am I holding my breath? Am I getting anxious in my stomach? Like, where is it happening? I want you to notice your body. Your body, sis, is giving you all the information that you need. And if you're like me, you spent most of your life ignoring it or overriding it with what the information you want to input to it so it can get the outcome, right? We're so disconnected from what our body is trying to tell us that we don't even realize we are legit in fight or flight mode until we're already planning our next restriction or we're already at the gym on the next workout. And so right now in this moment, I want you to notice when you're going through a trigger, just notice it. Where is it coming up in your body? Don't judge it. Don't try to fix it yet. Just notice it. What's happening in your body? Allison, as an example, told me that her hands were shaking. Her heart was racing. She literally felt like she was going to throw up and she broke out into a sweat. And she said she felt like she just needed out of the room. Sis, that was her body talking. That is information. And we just need to collect and notice it. How does the trigger show up in your body? Okay. Second step, we're just going to breathe. We're going to breathe. And I know this sounds so simple, but I need you to actually do it. Don't skip it because it feels basic or because you don't have time. Everyone has time to breathe. Am I right? I want you to put your hand on your belly and I want you to take a deep breath through your nose. We're not judging our stomach as we do this. We're just doing the thing. Keep doing it. This isn't woo-woo. This is literally the way to re-regulate your nervous system. You are safe. You are okay. You don't need to run. You don't need to fight. You don't need to freeze. It's going to be okay. When you breathe, you're expanding your awareness of the present moment and you're creating a space between the trigger and your reaction. And that is where your power lives. Okay, so we are going to create space between our reaction and the trigger. So you're going to breathe and then it comes out slowly. This allows you to think, okay, where is this showing up in my body? I'm just going to breathe with this for a second. Now, step number 3, name the sensation. Where is the tension? Where is the tightness, the heaviness, the discomfort? We did this a little bit in step 1, but is it in your chest, your stomach, your shoulders? What is your body telling you? And for Allison, she said like she felt like she had somebody just like sitting on her chest. She said her stomach felt hollow and super tight and she just wanted to disappear. She wanted to go underneath at the table. Sis, when you can name the sensation, you're taking something that feels overwhelming and scary and you're making it make sense. You're saying, okay, this is what's happening in my body right now. And that matters because then you can address what to do next. So we're going to pause. We're going to name it. Where do you feel the trigger in your actual body? Try this on the next time you get triggered by something, whether it is an upcoming holiday event or whether it's tonight when you're having a conversation with your husband and he's like, oh my gosh, I noticed that I can now see you have a butt. That can be super triggering as an example. Ask me how I know. That was an actual thing that happened to me. And I had to go, wow, like where is that coming up in my body? Why did I make that mean something so bad about me? Just an example. Okay, step 4. I want you to name the emotion, not the story that your mind is spinning on, not the plan that you're already making to restrict yourself tomorrow, to restrict food tomorrow, but the actual emotion. Okay, are you scared? Are you sad? Do you feel ashamed? Do you feel out of control, maybe unworthy or mad or angry? Like, I need you to say it out loud if you can. I feel scared. I feel ashamed. I feel like I'm not good enough. This is where the rubber meets the road because most of you have been running from emotions for so long that you don't even know what you're actually feeling. Believe me, I was in that camp too. It's like we just know we need to control something, usually food or our body, because that's our go-to, just to make that feeling go away. And so we can get some normalcy back in. But here's the truth, friend, this isn't normal and you can't heal what you don't feel and acknowledge. So when Allison named her emotion to me, she said, I just feel ashamed. I feel like I'm being judged by my family. I feel like I'm never good enough no matter what I do. And you know what? That's real. That's valid. And then what does that do? That leads us into step number 5. It deserves compassion. Hear me on this, friend. That emotion that you just named, it exists because at some point in your life, it kept you safe. Your body is being reminded of an old experience, a time when you literally learned that your worth was tied to your appearance, or that your worth was tied to your performance, or how little space you took up. I'll give you an example. When my husband made that comment, he was literally leading with positive intent and he was excited about it. And this was a while ago. But I took it as, oh my gosh, I can't have a big butt because in skating, it wasn't like that wasn't something that was good or practiced. I learned my worth was tied to being small, and being small meant you like didn't have that. And oh my gosh, if you notice that, I must be gaining weight. And then that was tied to performance of how little space that I took up. Friend, what I learned is my body isn't broken. And my mind had just been operating from old past beliefs. Your body isn't broken. It's doing what it is designed to do, and that is to protect you. And here's something that can kind of shed a little bit more light into this. That old experience, it isn't happening right now. So when you react, you're reacting from an old place, but you're not that little girl anymore, or you are not that former version of you who learned that you had to earn love or you had to earn approval or praise. You're not even in that situation anymore. In fact, when my husband made that comment about me, like I wasn't even a skater professionally anymore. So here's the thing. You get to choose differently now from where you are now. You get to show yourself compassion now. You get to put your hand over your heart and say, like, I hear you. I see you. I get you're trying to keep me safe, but I'm okay. That's no longer a thing. And you get to talk to yourself the way that you would talk to a friend, a mom. And you wouldn't say that she needs to restrict her food tomorrow. You wouldn't tell her that she's good enough. So you're going to give that same grace to yourself, that same understanding. And then our final step is step 6. We're going to meet your now needs. This is where the action takes place. What do you need now? Not what the disorder is telling you to do, not what the fear is screaming at you, but what does your body need now? What does your heart need now? And so many people, clients of mine, past, present, have said, like, what if I don't know? Here's the thing. Maybe you just need a break to take yourself outside for some fresh air. Maybe when that trigger has got you in fight or flight, you just need to text your person, your coach, Or you need to eat something because your body's actually hungry and so you're feeling super overwhelming. Maybe you need to do the opposite action of what your brain wants you to do. Like stay at the table when everything inside of you wants to run away. You literally stay. I will tell you something that worked at one of my Thanksgivings because Thanksgiving was such a trigger for me. I would sit at the table, and when I felt like people were staring through me at what is she going to choose to eat and what if she doesn't eat anything or whatever, I would literally make an effort to do the opposite. So if my brain went, oh my gosh, I think they're saying if you have sweet potatoes, maybe you should add sweet potatoes. Like I would not only add sweet potatoes, but then I would go, okay, they're probably going to see if you eat the sweet potatoes. Maybe you shouldn't eat the sweet potatoes. What if they think you've gained too much weight? I would literally eat the sweet potatoes. Grab the roll before getting up. Do what it is the opposite of what your brain is telling you. When you want to run, stand still. Check in. Ask yourself about that emotion. This is the important part. I want you to act as if you've already recovered. And I know this is so hard when you haven't and you don't have like a frame of reference point, but if your future self is already free, would she leave the table and go restrict her food? Like, would she do that? If you're free in the future, think about your future Thanksgivings, your future holidays, your future, events that you're going to. Like, would you take a bite of what is on the appetizer plate? Or would you just say, no, I'm good? I want you to think about what your recovered self would do. Would she over-exercise tomorrow to make up for tonight? Or would she rest and trust her body that it doesn't define her, that this trigger is just a split blimp in the grand scheme of life? Would she spiral into shame, or would she just step it up tomorrow and try again? You have to stop operating from an unhealed place if you want healed results. Hear me, I'm preaching to somebody right now. You have to stop operating from an unhealed place if you want healed results. Wounds cannot make decisions, okay? You are that future version of yourself. It's not so distant. She's you. She's you making the choice right now. And for Allison, her now need was to text me and stay at the table. Like she needed to not run. She needed to go, I can sit here with the discomfort and this really, really awful conversation. Like I can sit here and feel those eyes staring at me. She did it. And afterwards she was like, I'm stronger because now I know that I can choose to leave, but now I know that I can fight the demons that are in my mind. And guess what? It is almost always larger than we actually think, right? So here's what I want you to do. The next time you're triggered, and there will be a next time because you're a human and you're healing, I want you to come back to these steps. I want you to notice your body. I want you to breathe. I want you to name what you're feeling and the sensation, including that emotion. And I want you to show yourself compassion and meet your now needs. You can meet your now needs by acting as if. You don't have to stay here in the cycle. You don't have to live in fear of food or your body. You don't have to be worried about what other people are going to think of you. And you definitely don't have to gain a bunch of weight to heal. That's just another lie that the disorder is telling you to keep you trapped, okay? Now, obviously, I do not know every single person that is listening to the show right now. And so maybe your situation is a little bit different. That's why I invite you to partner with me so that we can dive into those details. So I'm making a blanket statement based upon what I know to be true. These lies are going to fill your mind. And what you need to ground yourself on is that freedom is possible. It starts when you start taking actions. I'm going to give you an invitation to take an action today. The Recovery Collective, we're literally starting October the 15th. So you're listening to this on October the 14th. If you're listening to it when it drops of 2025, if not, you might be listening to it afterwards. But anywho, I want you to go and sign up to be a member of the Recovery Collective. This is a support group where we work through triggers like this. You're going to have live coaching with me. You're going to be in a community, a small, intimate setting of women who get it. You are going to get tools, frameworks, so that you don't have to keep doing these things by yourself. I would love to have you join us. And if you're interested, go on out and sign up. You can do that immediately at herbestself.co/recovery collective. And if you're someone who knows that you need more support, I do have a few limited spots for private coaching available. You can apply directly at my website at herbestself.co, and we will see if working together is the right fit for where you are in your journey. But friend, you are so worth recovery. You're worth the hard work. And you're worth the uncomfortable moments. And I know that triggers can be super uncomfortable, but triggers just bring you toward your testimony, your truth. And the path isn't going to be easy, but I do promise you that if you keep showing up for yourself, you're going to look back one day and you're barely going to recognize that those things were triggers for you. That version of you, she's going to be so proud of you. The version of you that is recovered, she is going to be wrapping her arms around you when she's like, see, sis, you did it. You made it. You arrived. Friend, until then, I want you to know that I adore you, I love you, and I have high hopes for you and your future. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Oh, friend, thank you so much for letting me share what was on my heart today. My hope for this podcast is to help more women find freedom from food and body. If this has empowered or blessed you, let me know. I'd be honored for your rating and review of my show, and I'd love to connect with you in my private Facebook community. You really can move from perfection to purpose. Let's break the chains together. I'll help navigate the way. Until next time, bye for now, girl.